Adrian, sige, net, come on.
Good afternoon.
You want the lights off? Pwede na natin
Good
siya
afternoon,
patayin.
sir. I'm just wondering for the August 9 concert, there's no venue.
Yes, there's no venue yet. We're still confirming our venue for that date. We have inquired with British School Manila. So if they confirm, yeah. So it's in BGC. Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. Do you have a Filipino selection in the lineup or in the repertoire?
Yes, we have we are commissioning Maestro Conrado del Rosario to write an original work for the September 7. We didn't put it in the presentation, but we have a children's choir joining us for the program for the Chinese embassy. And of course, Jeffrey Ching is Filipino. He's in the third program. Of course, he's been based in Europe for many years, and he has a Chinese name, but he's very much Filipino, just like you and me. Aside from actually the season concert, we also have these outreach concerts. In fact, tomorrow we are going to Lipa City, and then we're going to PUP on Friday. You're all welcome to all these outreach concerts of the orchestra. And we play a lot of Filipino music in these programs.
I have a question. The flutist who's returning, he is...
Flutist, Maestro Robert Schroeder. Bob.
Mr. Schroeder, I'm glad that you're here because I want to hear the perspective of someone who's been with the orchestra prior to the Manado reorganization.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
You are as pure as I am.
So I want, since it's a milestone, countdown to the centennial, I want to know what's the significance of the MSO for you?
Oh, this is the life of music in my heart because this was my first professional musical job ever when I started. And I started as casual musician around 1979. In 1982, I became a regular member until 1986. And then we moved to PCI Bank to form the Manila Chamber Orchestra until 1991 when I migrated in the United States. So MSO is very close to my heart. I will never forget Manila Symphony Orchestra because this is all like where I'm at right now is because of a lot of what I've learned during my time with the Manila Symphony Orchestra when I met conducting workshops with Ms. Ellen Qua, conductor Lorenzo Palomo, Stephen, and many other professional and famous musicians we've worked with. We've done zarzuelas at the Metropolitan Theater. We've done Broadway plays aside from our regular season concert. So I'm so blessed to be part of the Manila Symphony Orchestra. And that's the reason why I'm here. I made sure I pay a visit to my old home. And you know, I'm so grateful to be here this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Follow-up question.
Yeah, follow-up question.
Since we've touched upon the perspective of someone who's been with the orchestra from the longest time, who's the youngest among the orchestra?
Who's the youngest? Our recent addition to the orchestra, but she's not recent to the foundation because she's been with the Manila Symphony Junior Orchestra, is Talia. Stand up, Talia. She's our newest taking Julia Bao.
I'd like to know also what's the significance of the orchestra.
Okay, ikaw rin. Sasagot ka rin. Interview portion ito. Julia is just graduated from the USD Conservatory of Music. Yeah. And he was a scholar of the MSO Basilio Manalo program.
Hello po, you can call me Talia. So, what is the question again, sir?
What's the significance? What does Manila Symphony Orchestra mean to you?
For me, MSO is like my second family. Because of MSO, particularly, I was originally an MSGO member. But because I was exposed to a lot of MSO performances, I was able to grow as a musician, especially as a cellist. And I think that is a very valuable experience in the professional world as a musician.
And I thank you. Thank you, Arya. Sorry, I did not warn you. I didn't know that these questions are coming to you as well. Who else has a question?
For Amadis.
Someone is.
Maestro, this is not a gender question. No? I'm just curious, as a professional musical director slash conductor, is there any difference between the way a male musician plays and a woman musician plays? Do the males sound makaingay or
Actually, I don't know if you want to highlight that because the MSO is one of the earliest orchestras in the world to include women in its lineup. As early as the 1930s, there were women in the orchestra. Some of them are members of the Legada family. The violinist Rizalina Esconde was the assistant concertmaster of the MSO for many, many years. Rizalina Esconde Buenaventura, because she married Maestro Buenaventura Antonino Buenaventura, the composer. And then, MSO is, I think, the first orchestra in the Philippines, or one of the earliest to have a female music director. This is Helen Kwa. Helen Kwa became a guest conductor of the MSO in the 1970s, and then became music director 1975. So, women are very much welcome in the MSO. There is no difference, if that is your question. Iba yung tunog ng violinist na babae, iba yung vibrato ng cellist na lalaki o babae. I think it doesn't make a difference. I wonder why, even in the West, to have a woman in the orchestra was such a big deal. They even make a Hollywood movie out of that. The first female bass player of the New York Philharmonic, because it's so rare. I don't know, in the Philippines it wasn't such a big deal for us, and as long as you're qualified, you can play. Even in these times, of course, they always look at the angle of gender, but for musicians, it doesn't matter. I think the only thing it will matter if you need a singer bass and it's a woman. Okay, so that would be, or a male soprano, but it also exists. Male sopranos also exist. So, but in terms of gender, in terms of the different way of playing, I don't think it makes a difference. Thank you for that question.
Hello, I'm Gerson from the Embassy of Brazil. It's not a question, actually it's an expression of appreciation for Jeff Solari, Jeff Chin. I just met the wonderful Miss Corazon Albina, also Rona, for everything you've done since you approached us last year about this proposal of bringing Brazilian musicians to play with the orchestra. We are quite excited and we are putting our best efforts to bring those musicians here. And reading the program, you are in the road to 100 years, right? Yes. Brazil and the Philippines are also on the road to 80 years of diplomatic relations.
Thank you.
And we want to take the opportunity of the concert in August to be the first activity in the countdown of this road to 80 years of diplomatic relations.
Thank you.
And Brazil and the Philippines, we are similar in many aspects. We are very joyful about life. We are very hospitable. People love to sing, love to dance. In the case of Brazil, people know Brazil about football, about volleyball. I was just talking to Adrian about Brazilian volleyball, about samba, about capoeira, about jiu-jitsu. But we want to show a different expression of Brazilian art, which is music. And just like the Filipino have great composers like Nicanor Abelardo, Francisco Santiago, Antonio Molina, now Conrado Rosario. Brazil also has great composers. So we have Heitor Villa-Lobos, we have Carlos Gomes, and other composers. So we are quite excited about this opportunity, and we put our best efforts to make it happen. Also, I'm the head of the culture and press section, so I'm also available for the press and information you need, and any support that you can give us to promote Brazilian music, quality music here in the Philippines. Once again, thank you so much, and congratulations to all of you.
Questions?
Last
Okay.
question. Ayan. Yes po.
Or Liana? Liana first. Here. Here's the mic.
Good afternoon. A lovely thing. It was so moving. I just wanted to ask, how many hours do you rehearse as an orchestra? And do you require your musicians to, rehearse on their own? Because it seems so easy, but I know it's difficult.
Yes, one regular rehearsal session is 3 hours with a 30 or with a 15-minute break of the orchestra. And per month, we normally rehearse or perform, we count it as the same, performance rehearsal 12 times per month as part of our regular work as part of Manila Symphony Orchestra. There are busy months when we do more than that. But of course, you had the question, do they need to practice on their own? Yes. That's what we want them to do. Outside of the orchestra, they don't just sight read the music, although some of them are capable of doing that. Some pieces, they don't need to. But there are some pieces that they have to. They have to. So, as a professional musician, you know the difference. You know what pieces that you can just read, but there are also pieces that you need to take home and practice.
Okay, boy.
This is a recurring thought in my head. In terms of audience, because orchestra is associated with the elite or the upper class or the little or the tutunuti, and the masters, of course, would want to appreciate you. So how do you plan to go to them or to reach out to them?
Yes. Starting last year, we have this program called Symphonic Explorations. We have been lucky to get a sponsor whose mandate is for us to bring the orchestra outside the usual places where it is performed, outside the concert hall. So we have been doing outreach concerts all over the Philippines. In fact, we've been to Bacolod, we've been to Cebu, we've been to Candon, Ilocos Sur, we've been to Las Piñas, Batangas. Tomorrow, we're going to Lipa, and it's a free concert. So we have lots of free concerts. So it doesn't matter whether you can pay or you cannot pay. The concerts are for free, and on top of that, we even provide a workshop to the local musicians in these places that we visit. Our musicians are very passionate about teaching and sharing their music. So we give them a workshop, and some of them are selected to play with the orchestra during that concert. So the experience is holistic. It's not just watching. So for us, the relationship with the orchestra gets deeper when you don't only watch, you play an instrument. So we have all these programs. We also have a partnership with the City of Makati. We teach the public school students of Makati City to form them into an orchestra. And so that also helps these kids and their families learn to appreciate the music that we play. One more question?
For the past 100 years now. So, what are the other things more that you can grow more? And maybe meron pa yung wish list.
Of course, plenty of wish list. One of the biggest challenges for MSO, and I think for all Filipino orchestras, is a real concert venue, a home. We have many theaters being put up here and there, but they're nice to look at. They're nice to sit. They have a nice stage. They have a nice lobby. but they're not built in a way that could absorb the full power and the full significance of a symphony orchestra. You who have listened to the orchestra right now that did not use mics in an acoustic venue like this, you're very, very lucky. No? So if this is a concert and that there are tickets, then those tickets should be about 20,000 each. No? So, parang ganon. So because that is how an orchestra is supposed to be done. So that is in the biggest number one wish list that we have. Our own concert hall, maybe a concert hall in the 3rd floor, and then a music academy in the 1st and 2nd floor, and then a dormitory for the musicians in the basement, something like that. So that is our wish list. The symphony, a home of the Manila Symphony Orchestra. Yes, sir.
Hi, I just want to piggyback on his question. You said you want to reach out to the masses, right? So apart from doing free concerts, in terms of material, how do you intend to reach out and connect to these people? Do you want to use music that's familiar to them, maybe music of Bini or maybe Zanda Mudo or things like that?
Yes, there has been, it's not just for us, but all over the world, a lot of orchestras want to reach to the masses by playing pop music. Okay, that's the common approach. They don't play symphonies, they don't play concertos, they don't play classical music. They say they can reach the masses by just playing pop music. But sometimes we feel that that doesn't work. What we do is we mix a little bit because we want to tell people we are capable of doing these pieces, but we insist on playing symphonies. But the trouble is in the tradition of orchestras, when they play symphonies, they play the whole symphony, first movement to the last movement, and then a concerto also like that. And sometimes this is what people are not ready for. But they are ready, certainly ready to hear one movement or excerpts, and we introduce these pieces, we tell them a story about this piece. We don't invent the stories. This music has very exciting stories as well, even if they have generic titles like Sonata No. 5 or Symphony No. 27. But, audience get hooked with the main material, with the music itself. We don't try to dumb down the programming so that we can entertain. They already, I think, the best people to play music of Bini is Bini themselves. No? Sila lang. We can approximate it, we can have a different version of it, but it's just a different flavor. The MSO has a very wide variety program. We play video games. We have concerts on video games. We fill up the Ayala malls whenever we do that. And then we have movie themes. We also collaborate with pop artists. Maestro Ryan Peavia is one of our trustees. We usually collaborate with him a lot, and we work with all the famous Filipino names, Jose Marichan, Martin Rivera, Regine Velasquez, all of these. We played side by side with all these artists.
No more questions? Hello?
Okay, yan. Question ba?
Meron pa? Sige, Bon.
I wanna add more playing to the orchestra. So have you tried collaborating with rock bands or others?
Yes, MSO, I think we registered the term rockestra. We did a program of rockestra way back in the 20 years ago. 2005, 2006. We collaborated with many rock bands in the folk arts theater, and then we had different versions of this collaboration with rock bands. The challenge is to hear the distinction. Ano yung kaibahan? Because sometimes if it's not properly arranged, if it's not properly mixed, it sounds like a louder rock band lang. It only looks like the stage looks bigger, but the music sounds the same. So the challenge is in the arrangement, in the musical arrangement. And we like rock bands to be able to adjust as well. Some of them, they just want to play the way they learn the piece. They don't want to count. They don't want to wait. They don't want to have babalikin mo, no, the arrangement, you rearrange it in a certain symphonic way. But we like to collaborate with rock bands who are willing to, go through some rehearsals so that we could have a more productive and artistically satisfying concert, both for the rock fans and for the classical music fans.
Just to mention to him that a rock band has given us the nod by writing music for us. Rush Hour, remember?
Yes, we did the Rush Hour. Some of the alumni of the MSO move on to form bands. One of the famous OPM bands now, Silent Sanctuary. The members came from MSO. So they want that path, no? So we're happy for them. More questions?
Happy?
Okay. I hope you've enjoyed this time with MSO. This is our first time to hold a like a concert type here in this venue. Normally, this is just rehearsal hall for us. So if maybe if this is successful, we'll do some similar things here. That's been my dream to somehow make people experience the orchestra up close and personal, like what you have experienced.
Okay. Footnote before I go, or we all go. In the email, like typical of my emails, if we have events in ballet, in theater, etc., I already put there, kindly please RSVP for your confirmation on May 24. We saw it here, right? It's in the press release. Our first event is on May 24. So please email me so that we can already prepare your seats where we will be blocked at the Aliw Theater.
Aliw Theater has a fantastic theater. Not many people realize it. After it got burned about 4 years ago, they renovated, and somehow they accidentally rebuilt it with good acoustics. Even if they didn't mean to. But when we went there, oh, this is nice. I don't know, don't tell Lisa Makua I said that. But I tell her that, it's, I don't know if they really meant, because that's basically for the dancers, no? It's for her company. But somehow, the way they built it, we like the results. We did one concert there last year.
O yan na yung tip. So we will all see you on May 24. Please RSVP. Again, in behalf of the Manila Symphony Orchestra, our Board of Trustees, Ms. Corazon Alvina, and everyone else here,